let us discuss the question. Why did things not work out? And when I say not work out, I mean really not work out. Really, really not work out for Kyler Murray in Arizona. So my thoughts on this, I've got Lobster Boy, Jurassic Park, and Table Read. And we will combine all of these things together, and we're going to make a large pizza, which would have provided, by the way, more joy to the Cardinal franchise if they just drafted a large pepperoni pizza. That would have been more successful than what they ended up with. Now, I've been seeing some things here that have been tossed out into the echo chamber since the news came out the Cardinals are going to release Kyler Murray. And many are saying, well, it's the Cardinals' fault. It's not his fault. It's the Cardinals' fault. Oh, my God. And well, he got hurt. Okay. I can't believe a fun-sized quarterback would get hurt. That never happens, right? Some, I guess, are blaming the moon cycle. We had a cosmic event the other day. So that might be why. We'll have to check with our astrology insider that's why this is all going sideways. But Kyler Murray, doesn't matter how you want to look at it, Kyler Murray stinks. It's a solid level of stink. It's not just an occasional stank. It's a lot of stink. That's the way it is. And when you're the number one pick in the draft, when you're drafted at the very top of the draft, the expectation is that you're going to be a Siberian tiger. And the Cardinals, for some reason, thought this was a Siberian tiger. Well, it turns out it was a ragdoll house cat. Ragdoll house cat is what it was. And first read, I guess Kyler's all right. I guess. Second read, a little bit of panic. And then if you have to go to the third read, he is now spinning around like he's late for the airport and he can't figure out which terminal he needs to go to, and there's issues. So Kyler Murray entered the NFL a few years back, and we knew right away this guy's a sideshow. I want to play with baseball. He's like a baseball player. He's like, I'll play football. Okay, draft me number one. Okay, we'll take in number one overall and all that stuff. But it was always like a sideshow. You look at him play, and I don't know if you've had this image. It's like, well, something's wrong with my TV. That's like, that guy doesn't belong out there. What's up with that? It was like oddities. Watching Kyler Murray play is like a glitch on your television there. And really, he belongs in the same category with Lobster Boy, the human cannonball, and sword swallowers, just freaks of society and all that stuff. You draft at the very top. Again, I keep going back to this. You draft at the very top of the NFL draft. You are expecting a Greek god. You're expecting a Greek god. Instead, you went down to Best Buy and you got the Geek Squad is what you got, right? Like one of those, because Kyler's about the size of somebody on the Geek Squad, I would think. They could be even bigger. And so this is a guy in his NFL career with Arizona. He has been a September hero and a December zero time and again. And the Cardinal career, which if you believe state-funded NFL media, is now over, Kyler Murray will end up as a number one pick who did not win a playoff game. He played in one playoff game as a starter, and if you remember, he sat on the bench. It was against the Rams in Inglewood, and I happened to be at the game, and he was sitting there dazed and confused on the sideline. What just happened? I mean, wow. Abysmal failure. And I will leave a line open for those that are listening in the greater Phoenix area, because I don't think there's any Cardinal fans outside of the greater Phoenix area. I think they're all there in Phoenix, and I don't think they exist anywhere else. So if you would like to call up, and I will allow you to say, listen, you were right, I was wrong. We will do that at some point here. But my God, the signature moment. You know what the signature moment of Kyler Murray's career with the Arizona Cardinals is? Do you know what it is? You don't? It's a bad job by you. Bad football knowledge. Kyler Murray's signature moment in the NFL was not some crazy touchdown pass. It wasn't a wild touchdown run by Kyler Murray. No. It was a clause in his contract, the homework clause, that this guy is such a dingleberry. He's such a jackwagon, this Kyler Murray. The Cardinals knew it. They said, we got to put a homework clause in here. And when your supposed franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray, is out there and you need an independent study reminder That doesn't seem like great leadership. What do I know? I just do the overnight show. It doesn't seem like great leadership. It seems like, okay, we got to make sure this guy goes to detention because he's not that good at studying. We need to go to detention. And that's the kid who was at the Catholic school, and Sister Mary had to come over and hit him with a ruler. Scream in his face. He's got terrible body language. The whole thing's insane. And even more insane is we know the guy can't play. We know he doesn't like football. He can't play. And some other team's going to add him. Then we can goof on them. All right, meanwhile. So keeping the theme of the hour going, we mentioned that this is the offseason if you want quarterbacks that cannot play at a discount. So do you have words? Here's the question. Do you have words for the available 2026 NFL free agent class of quarterbacks, which at this point, and subject to change, but at this point it's looking like Kyler Murray, Tua Tagovailoa, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, and Kirk Cousins. It's the Dante's Inferno is what this is. So this is a quarterback room. If you put all these guys together, Kyler Murray, Tua, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, and Kirk Cousins, it is a basket of deplorables is what it is, right? My word, I'll use two words, handy-downs. These are handy-downs is what this is here. And the quarterback big board, if you were to look at Benny, not a list, Terry in England, not a list, Benny's big board of quarterbacks, this is a literal stew of broken dreams, players that never made it, some that had a little one-hit wonder in them. So you're looking at a collection. You're pretty much staring at a collection of garbage so dense that Waste Management should be the title sponsor. Like the quarterback class of 2026 and free agency presented by Waste Management. Can have a dump truck drop these guys off. It's a flea market. And they talk about the players changing teams. They say, well, it's a flea market and all that. I said, well, it's a flea market with Jurassic Park-sized fleas. All right, Jurassic Park-sized fleas is what it is. And again, the has-beens, the never-weres get together, and they hang out, and a bunch of dingleberries, and that's how they do it. And you got Geno Smith, who's a career backup that failed in Seattle, failed with the Raiders as a starter, and is someone dumb enough to give him another opportunity. Justin Fields should not be taking snaps in the NFL. He should be selling life insurance somewhere. Get him a job doing that or real estate. Kirk Cousins, we've seen enough of him. He ought to go become some kind of TV person, put makeup on. He can bore us on CBS or NBC. They got rid of Dungy, so they need somebody to bore us. They can put Cousins on there. You got Kyler Murray, who should go to his calling here, become an esports star and leave the NFL behind and take the joystick, put the Duke down, take the joystick, and knock yourself out of the park. The only one worth a second look, and this is very liberal, is Tua Tagovailoa, who is still a ticking time bomb. Tua, because of the concussions and all that stuff. You toss in that he's limited. It's like a designated hitter back when the American League only had the DH and the National League did not. Where Tua is limited, you can only put him on a West Coast team or a dome team. Any weather that is not perfect, and it's really bad. It's really, really bad. It just doesn't work. The whole thing falls apart. You can't deal. You can't do it. You cannot do it. One cold breeze, one snow flurry, and the thingamajig is just ruined. It's just absolutely ruined. All right, now the last word here. So we head to Detroit. Where David Montgomery, that's a running back, and he used to be considered pretty good, but David Montgomery sarcastically questioning on social media a report over the weekend claiming that the current Lions running back, Montgomery, wants out of Detroit. The team supposedly looking for a day 3 draft pick. Remember, the first round is on day 1. Then the second and third are on day 2. And then after that, you got the 4th and the 5th and whatnot on day 3. So something like a 5th round pick in return for David Montgomery. Of course, they always say this when you want to get rid of a player. You always claim, well, it's because of the salary cap. It's always because of the salary cap. And the dum-dums, the low information fans, they, oh, yeah, okay, I believe that. Yeah, that's right. Sure. Let's not question anything. Now, Montgomery was not in on this. How do we know that? David Montgomery, who had been part of the backfield with Jahmyr Gibbs, well, he sent out a message, as we said, on social media, and he declined to agree with the said report. So, question, how does David Montgomery, that's a running back, his clear indication here that he does not want a Lions trade based on his post. He hadn't posted in like a couple of years. So how does that shift the arithmetic to you? All right, so Montgomery, what he did here is he threw a massive wrench into the best laid plans of Lions and men right here. It makes it uncomfortable. I don't know if I want to go as far as say incredibly uncomfortable, but it's uncomfortable for the Lions because they had this all mapped out. All right, we'll blame the cap. When in doubt, blame the cap. Dumb people believe that. We'll just say that. We'll get rid of every player, so we'll have all the cap space. We'll have no players left. That's the way to do it. All right, anyway. So this has, I jotted down on my scorecard, MD, as in messy divorce. As in messy divorce written all over it. The Lions were trying to control the narrative, and they almost got away with it if it wasn't for that meddling social media. They wanted to make it seem like Montgomery was on board with exiting Detroit. That he was the one who wanted to enter the NFL's transfer portal. So they could look like the good guys. Oh, we didn't want to get rid of him, but he didn't want to be here, and so we had to get rid of him and all that. And, yeah. And David Montgomery essentially said, yeah, I'm good here. No thanks. I'm good right here. I don't want to go anywhere else. Which is very odd. Someone wants to play for the Lions. Normally, my entire life, most of the time, people want to run away from the Detroit Lions. So think of it like this. It's a table read. And Montgomery's sitting down at the table read, and he's not following the script. Bad job by him, right? The Lions said, well, just follow the script. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, to be completely clear here, I think you know this. You don't need me to tell you, but Jahmyr Gibbs has zoomed past David Montgomery in terms of his impact. Gibbs is the center square of that offense, the tic-tac-toe. He's the impact guy. He's the home run hitter and all that stuff. Montgomery, more like a Deuce Staley from back in the day or Joe Mixon, that type of running back. Solid, not a bad player. Use the word gritty, not the mascot from the Flyers, but the word gritty. And it's not like he's irreplaceable. He's not. He's not irreplaceable. And so you flip him. If you're the Lions, you're like, oh, we'll get rid of him. We'll get a late draft pick, and we'll grab a younger person at half the price. And we'll save some money. And so, but then he dug I guess he had some heels on. He dug his heels in and said, I'm not down with that. So we'll see where this goes. But Montgomery is currently weaponizing the fanboys and the bots in the Matrix to put pressure on the Lions to keep him. That will likely not work. But the effort is being made.